So your appraisal came in low. Now what are you going to do? Stay tuned and I'll go over all the options. Hi everybody, thanks for tuning into my channel, Living in Tampa. If you're new to my channel, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, ring the little bell so you'll be notified every time that I release a new video. Today's video is going to be all about low appraisals, what exactly is an appraisal, and what to do if the appraisal comes in low. So let's get to it. So what is an appraisal? An appraisal is basically an opinion of value. So whenever you're under contract to purchase or sell a home, the bank for the buyer is going to order an appraisal. They're going to send out an appraiser and he is going to look at the house. He's going to measure the house. He's going to take pictures of the house. He's going to look for comparable homes in a close area around the home, preferably in the same neighborhood if they're available, that are similar in size and amenities to that home. Then he's going to make adjustments to that home. Say if one has a pool, one doesn't. If one is a little bit larger, one's got 3 bathrooms, one has 2 bathrooms, they make adjustments to the value and they come up with what they believe to be the fair market value for the home. And that is what an appraisal is. Now the bank uses this value to base the loan on. So the bank is lending the buyer the money. They want to make sure they have a security that the loan that they're making is backed by an asset that has that same value. So that's where the appraisal comes into play. Now, today we're going to talk about what happens when you have a low appraisal. I'm going to cover this from both the buyer's perspective and the seller's perspective. So let's start with the buyer. So as a buyer, if your appraisal comes in low, you've got 3 options basically. One is just to go ahead and pay the difference out of pocket. Now, why would someone do that? Well, it really depends on the market. Right now, it is August of 2020. We are definitely in a seller's market with a very limited inventory. There's literally not enough homes on the market to sell, and buyers are scrambling to find the right home. So when they do, we're often seeing bidding wars, multiple offers, things of that nature. So the buyers really want the houses when they find them. And a lot of times, the buyers are just willing to pay that difference so that they can still get the home. But the other option would be to go back to the seller and ask them if they might be willing to lower the sales price to the appraised value, or at least split the difference somewhere with them. To me, what's a win-win for everyone is if the seller is willing to split that difference. Here's why I think so. One, as a buyer, if you are in this type of market that I just described, you're getting the house that you want and you're actually paying less for it than you were willing to. So that should make a buyer very happy. And from the seller's perspective, even though they're not getting as much money as they were intending to get per the sales contract, they know that they're getting the maximum amount that the home is actually worth in an appraiser's opinion. So to me, that's a win-win situation. Now, the last option would be for the buyer just to completely cancel the contract and walk away. If you have a realtor that included an appraisal contingency, you will have the ability to do this without losing your escrow deposit. So it's very important that you discuss this sort of thing with your realtor whenever you are submitting an offer. In the market that we're in right now, it's not uncommon for an appraisal to come in low. Our market is going up at a very quick rate, and the sales, there's not as many of them because of the limited inventory. So the appraisers are having trouble getting those prices supported, and it's just going to take a little bit of time for the market to catch up with that. So don't be surprised if you have an appraisal that comes in low right now. Now, from a seller's perspective, what can you do with a low appraisal? Well, of course, you have those 3 options that the buyer that I just went over with the buyer, and those really are kind of in the buyer's hands. But as a seller, you can also try to appeal to the buyer to see if they might be willing to go back to the lender and see if they can submit some more comps to support the price to try to fight the appraisal and see if you can get the appraisal, up just a little bit higher. Sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't, and you do have to have some comparables that will, support that higher price. But in my opinion, as a seller, If you have a buyer that is a bona fide buyer, they actually love the house, they've already done their inspections, you're under contract, this is the only thing holding you back from closing, then I would really try to come to some sort of agreement with that buyer to ensure that the deal goes through, to make it a win-win situation for everyone. Well, there you have it, your options for dealing with a low appraised value. If you've got any questions about this video, feel free to drop them down below in the comments section. I'll do my best to respond to them as quickly as possible. If you're even thinking about moving to the Tampa Bay area, give me a call, send me a text, shoot me an email. However you want to communicate with me is fine. When it comes to moving to Tampa, I've got your back. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and ring the little bell so you'll be notified every time that I release a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.